What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most requested reviews analysis, so stick around. You don't want to miss this. But before we get into that, if you're considering a purchase, don't miss out on this incredible discount available right now. Check the description below and the pinned first comment. Now, let's not delay any further and jump right into the details. So, this printer arrived during Prime Days at a price that felt almost too good to pass up, and the main reason I pulled the trigger was the promise of speed and two-sided copying. The whole idea of using a fax feels a little old school, but I've had a couple of situations where sending a document this way feels more secure, so it's nice to have it sitting there if I ever need it. I'm wired up with a home office Ethernet, so I just plugged in the network cable, and the printer grabbed an IP address from my router via DHCP. It popped right onto the network and was ready to print from my iPhone in minutes. That part was surprisingly painless, which is a win in my book. On the software side, the setup can feel a bit confusing. There are multiple Canon drivers to choose from, and the documentation doesn't help you pick between them very well. I ended up loading all three, which meant Windows 11 could see 3 Canon printers. I just used the first one to print and it worked fine, so I'll probably remove the others to avoid confusion. My advice would be to pick the first driver unless you know exactly what the others do. One of my first uses was printing address labels. I really liked being able to load more than one blank label page in the secondary feeder, instead of the old one at a time approach from my previous printer. The back of the printer opens to keep the label pages flat and prevent curling or jams, which is a small but nice touch. I did hit a hiccup where the printer thought there was a jam even though there wasn't, and the on-screen prompts kept asking me to do a bunch of steps to clear it. It felt a little over the top, almost like it wanted me to remove the toner and go through a cascade of confirmations. Eventually I worked through it, but it wasn't the smoothest moment. The touchscreen could use improvement. It's not as responsive as a smartphone, and I found myself double-checking whether I pressed a button already or if it registered. A slower, deliberate press pattern helps reduce frustration. I grabbed this during a deep discount and began tinkering with more features like two-sided scanning and higher resolution printing. And wow, scanning both sides of a page does work, and it outputs to a PDF directly on my PC, which is faster than I expected. Printing is excellent, especially the double-sided output, which is the main reason I bought it. I even tested printing an envelope, and that turned out surprisingly straightforward. Cloud uploading from scanning is where things got more complicated. There are a lot of settings and a fixed preset approach, which felt a little more rigid than I'd like. Still, given the range of features and the speed, this is the best printer I've owned in a long time, especially for the price. Bottom line, if you snag this on a sale, it's worth it for daily print and two-sided tasks, with the caveat that you'll probably wrestle a bit with the setup and some of the more advanced scanning options. For a busy home office, it's a solid, fast workhorse. That's it for today's review. Thanks for watching. I hope it helped you out. If you're interested, I've left a link in the description where you can check it out. Sometimes there are good discounts available there. See you next time.